This life just seems so tough. Make we talk, my people. Make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people. Make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. We're listening from around the world and the Eastern Caribbean. This is the voice of the Caribbean, WZPP and WZOP 96.1 FM, 92.7 FM, 1590 AM in Tampa, St. Petersburg. This is the Make We Talk program. We're going to speak about the Caribbean and the land of wood and water. So today is a beautiful Monday afternoon, beautiful Monday morning in Jamaica and other parts of the Caribbean. I see where Guyana's president said his country is committed to bring a lasting solution to what is going on in Haiti. And of course, our sister island is faced with a lot of problems. Other Caribbean countries are saying that they have to see a solution to the crime and violence and the economic and political crisis that we face in Haiti. There are so many other things that is going on in the Caribbean. I see where Mia Mottley of Barbados, Prime Minister Mia Mottley of Barbados, at the G77 summit in Cuba, of other leaders of developing countries attend the summit in Cuba. And the Prime Minister, Mia Mottley, is calling on the American government that the Biden administration to lift the embargo against Cuba. The Barack Obama administration did it before they leave office. And now the Prime Minister of Barbados is calling for the embargo to be lifted. I see we're in other nations have made similar calls for the embargo to be lifted. You know, when we as individuals and we as citizens of the Caribbean countries sit down and say nothing to what is going on in our neighboring countries, or says nothing what is going on in our own country, the elites of the politicians may think that there's nothing wrong. They're doing everything that is good. So people just sit down and do all that is bad. And that is why some of these political elites will continue to blunder poor people's money and to continue spend as if Caribbean nations print money. I think the time must come where citizens of the Caribbean need to stand up and say enough is enough. They need to stand up and say to themselves, we cannot continue like this. As a people, who continue fight against political domination. We need to stand up. The time we take to blame governments of our individual countries, we need to blame ourselves, because if we do not put them up there, there's absolutely no way they can become prime ministers or members of parliament or senators, although we don't vote for senators in Jamaica. So I believe that the time we go around blaming the government of our country, we need to blame ourselves, because we are the ones who collect kickback money to put a vote against whatever symbol your political parties of. Not only in Jamaica, but in the Caribbean, majority of us vote for so many things. And we're not voting for the infrastructure of our country and policies of our country. We're voting because we love the party and we love the individuals. And then for the next 5 years, the country continue to go down a slippery path and a slippery slope. So the time for us to continue getting up year after year or day after day to blame the government. We are the government. We are the government. And we must blame ourselves for what is going on within our various countries that we're from. If we're from Haiti, we need to blame ourselves because of what is going on in Haiti. We allow the political elites to run that country as if it's their personal bank account. To run that country as if nobody lives in the country. To run that country and governments align with gangs and Donmanism. And when we align ourselves with gangs and Donmanism, then we face a fundamental problem of when you know what hit the fan. And because we believe we can't do anything about certain things, we sit down and we say, boy, a Master Jeffrey in the power, you know. So we can't do nothing about Master Jeffrey. Because Master Jeffrey come with clocks and other shibangarangs. I've seen XQYZ. I have a call coming in. I go to this call. Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to Make We Talk.
Good afternoon, JT.
Yes, sir.
Well, you know, I'm a man who visits Jamaica often, and I was there, and there's some information. And this is from the horse's mouth. This is not no hearsay business.
Mm-hmm.
And what I get at that, a lot of these politicians out there making big bucks out of the road construction thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Which one?
Have trucks.
Which one of the road construction you talking about? The one in St. Thomas?
Building out there. Eh?
The one in St. Thomas? Or
all of them. All of the construction is going on the roads. Because a lot of the trucks a lot of the trucks that work in with the construction company is owned by politicians. And they have contracts to draw materials and stuff like that.
Well, it was brought to my attention. It is alleged that majority.
Yeah, it's alleged, but this is inside information that I have.
Yes, but sir, with all fairness, you don't expect me to come and say that Jeffrey owns multi-billion dollar. No, it is alleged. So
I know that. You can't say nothing like that.
And I have to be careful on this program. I can't nobody to sue
I know
me
that's why I just,
or sue WZPP or WCOP, you know.
Right. So you don't have to really give any specific answer to what I'm saying, you know. So I was giving you the information. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I understand you. So let me ask you a question.
Good.
Let me ask you a question as I have you on the thing here. Based on what is going on around the Caribbean, we're going to touch in a little while the People's National Party conference that they had. But based on what is going on around the Caribbean, let's speak about our own little island, Jamaica. Do you believe that enough has been done over successful administration to stem the poverty that our people face and the crime problem our people face in our country?
Well, if these are the kind of people that they put into power, it's not going to change because this is going on year after year.
But let me ask you a question. Do you believe that we the people, you know what is some of us problem? And people may be upset with me, you know. We must understand that we are the government. We put them there every 5 years to do something. And I may say something and people keep on saying I'm bringing down my country. I'm bringing down my country, you know. Let me make something clear. Let me make something clear. I am not saying that successful administration have done something good for Jamaica. They have. They have done a lot of good for Jamaica. But based on where we are now, in 1960, in 61 years of independence, we gave independence in 62, and based where we are now, I think we should be. I think we should be more than where we are now. You don't think so?
Of course. Yeah, but if the politician was working on behalf of the people, would be far ahead because Jamaica was the #1 island in the Caribbean, you know. And they used to be able to help other small islands like Cayman and all those islands.
Yes, because at one point, a lot of people don't know at one point, you know, Jamaica was head of Cayman, you know, because the Jamaica governor, back in the days under the British rule, the governor for Jamaica was also the governor for the Cayman Islands. And majority of Caymanians were born in Jamaica at the Kingston Public Hospital, the Jubilee Hospital, you know.
Yes. So a lot of people don't know those histories.
Yes.
You see? And now those highlands is far ahead of Jamaica in certain things because so the politicians they were working on behalf of the Jamaican people, but then all they do working to enrich themselves and their family. And so that is why we have a big problem out there. Such a beautiful country. And it looks like these people don't have no, I would say it looks like they don't have no shame or nothing because you can, a lot of the artists sing about it. It's like they're preaching about it through the song. And people talking about it. And them carry on the same way. The politicians
because we the people of the Caribbean, not only Jamaica alone, we the people of the Caribbean believes that these politicians are demagogues.
They believe they are God.
You see? Because we allow them to believe that they are gods.
Right.
We allow it. So and that is why they believe that they are gods.
They feel that they can do anything and get away with it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Caller, thank you for calling in.
All right, TJ, JT, all right.
Thank you very
All right,
much.
good.
Thank you.
All right.
We're gonna switch gears. The People's National Party had a conference. Yesterday. People's National Party had a conference yesterday. And the president of the People's National Party, the good gentleman, Sir Mark Golding, made some speeches that we all need to take a little bit serious. The opposition leader went on at his conference yesterday where a lot of people were saying that the conference is not as big as the Labour Party conference. And they were asking opinions on it because, but based on what I'm hearing, that the conference was well attended by comrades. And the party hierarchy is very, very, very pleased of what happened at the conference yesterday. So if they are very pleased with what happened at the conference yesterday, then who are us to say anything about it? But there is something I want members of the Caribbean and in South Florida here to hear what party leader Mark Golding said yesterday.
Opposition leader Mark Golding is calling on the government to expedite the process of decolonizing Jamaica. Mr. Golding made the call in an address at the People's National Party's 85th annual conference at the National Arena on Sunday.
Jamaica must not squander the chance of constitutional reform. As a first step, we must reform the Constitution to complete the decolonization process. We need to decolonize Jamaica once and for all. We in the PNP have no interest in moving to a republic while retaining the King's Privy Council in London as Jamaica's final court. That does not make sense to any progressive person.
Mr. Golding noted that Jamaicans need a final court that they are able to easily access. He stated that the PNP would not support the removal of the British monarch as Jamaica's head of state without the simultaneous removal of the UK Privy Council as Jamaica's final court.
Jamaicans need a final court where they don't need a visa to go there and where the costs of attending court are not way out of their reach. Time come for a Jamaican head of state and the Caribbean Court of Justice as our final court. Decolonization now. We, the People's National Party, will support both moving forward together. We have no interest in one without the other.
Mark Golding, opposition leader and a PNP president. The PNP president's position could hamper the Holness administration's efforts to turn Jamaica into a republic, which is a first stage of the government's constitutional reform agenda. The government will require at least one assenting vote from the opposition benches when to make the change to a republic.
You know, opposition leader Mark Golding is calling on the government to decolonize Jamaica and for the Caribbean Court of Justice to be Jamaica's final court. It makes absolutely no sense. If we're gonna say bye-bye to Uncle King Charles, bye-bye Charlesy boy, bye-bye. If we're gonna say bye-bye to Uncle Charles, then what sense does it make for us to keep on having the Privy Council? Jamaica spent how much millions of dollars to help establish the Caribbean Court of Justice. So I believe, and I agree with opposition leader Mark Golding, that if we're going to go republic, we need to get the Caribbean Court of Justice as our final court. I have a call coming in to the studio here. Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to Make We Talk. Good afternoon. Welcome to Make We Talk. We have lost the call. You know, and we need to do that. We need to say to ourselves that if we're going to go republic, we need to get something like that done. Good afternoon. Welcome to Make We Talk.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my favorite caller.
Okay, now I heard you bring back the PNP speech about their party convention and what.
Yes, they had a conference. They have a convention yesterday, the 85th convention. So I decided to bring it in and speak about it. Yeah, go ahead.
Right, I heard you mention, you were all excited when he said, "Oh, you have to have the Caribbean Court of Appeal and my ball and I carry on the platform."
Well, he was crying.
People think they must.
He was crying on the platform.
No. Well, he might make the big noise like in really do anything. It's a nothing burger in a burger. But I don't understand how some of we Jamaicans just continuously not analyzing and looking. I mean, a lot of Jamaicans, much to their credit, turn off of this nonsense. This is a game. First of all, let's look at something. For 18 consecutive years, PJ Patterson, right? That time Siaga was thoroughly discredited in Jamaican politics. I like to look at the chronology of events. When the man had the political feel for himself, met Tabo PJ Patterson. And all that we got out of the Patterson administration was more giveaway of the national assets of the country. Take land nothing to foreigners. Give them the whole with telecom spectrum. Like we never send with children go to school to learn technology and who can construct put up a cell tower and thing there. We give it to foreigners. The pure foreigners own the thing now. Not one black Jamaican own our telecom. All right. The man never mentioned the word constitutional reform. He make one little boo talk about the Caribbean appellate court taking removing the British Privy Council as our final appellate court, right?
Yes,
it wasn't going to go anywhere because he didn't use the leverage. Because remember, at one point, Siaga could have been declared insolvent. You remember when the man pay over the taxes from his business interest.
But with all fairness, some of them do the same thing.
No, the point I am saying.
Yes.
Remember, politics is about the art of compromising, make move using your leverage.
Yes.
Because remember, it's divided government. And you want to have all the cards in your hand.
Yes.
So if you are a responsible player in our country, you are a responsible player. And I'm saying that PJ Patterson had considerable leverage. The party muting against Siaga. Siaga was a lame duck. And history threw him in the rubbish heap. He couldn't win another election. And I am saying that so he had numbers, he had leverage because the team, and I'm showing you strategy.
Hold on for me. Hold on for me, sir. There's a quick break coming up.
With the Visions Band from 8 p.m. until midnight and dance music by DJ Mikey Mike. It's a vibe, a cool chill vibes. Island Vibe Sundays at Blue Martini in the Galleria Mall. For VIP reservations, 954-529-4605. WZOP would like to thank Blue Martini for their contribution to this station.
WZOP Radio celebrating Why do taxpayers have to pay for SSL's criminal operations, quote unquote? How are we being held accountable and not those governing that corrupt entity?
The government of Jamaica will not be in any way taking on any debt of any private institution that has failed. We're not going to bail out any private institution that has failed. We went through FinSAC and we are determined not to repeat that in any way, shape, or form. But the public is also asking that this matter be thoroughly investigated, and the government made a commitment to thoroughly investigate the matter. It is one of those conundrums because in order for the matter to be thoroughly investigated, even with the FID and with the appointment of a special investigator to deal with this matter, and with the regulatory authorities also supervising. The truth is that we need the staff.
As your Prime Minister, I can't make it be all about power. As your Prime Minister, it has to be about fulfilling your needs. That's what it has to be about.
Why do taxpayers have to pay for SSL's criminal operations, quote unquote? How are we being held accountable and not those governing that corrupt entity?
The government of Jamaica will not be in any way taking on any debt of any private institution that has failed. We're not going to bail out any private institution that has failed. We went through FinSAC and we are determined not to repeat that in any way, shape, or form. But the public is also asking that this matter be thoroughly investigated, and the government made a commitment to thoroughly investigate the matter. It is one of those conundrums because in order for the matter to be thoroughly investigated, even with the FID and with the appointment of a special investigator to deal with this matter, and with the regulatory authorities also supervising. The truth is that we need the staff of SSL to keep the computer systems up and running. We need the staff of SSL to maintain the records. It would be a far more expensive exercise if SSL were to close tomorrow and the staff goes home, and then the investigators on their own having to try and piece together the puzzle. So I think the Minister of Finance found himself in this quandary where, having known my very strong position that we're not bailing out any company, having now to see to it that the infrastructure to facilitate the investigation, which the public would want to see come to some conclusion, that we ended up having to pay for, but only a short time, the maintenance of the staff. None of this is going to the principals of SSL or indeed to anyone who had invested in SSL. This is primarily just to keep the operation there, which is necessary to facilitate the investigation. I just wanted to emphasize that. So my point is, I feel just like how everyone feels in the public, that the principals of SSL or people who invest there, the public is not going to pay for that. But what the public would want to see is that we are able to track and trace and recover the funds that have been defrauded and have it returned to the people who were defrauded of their funds. And that is the cost of actually.
Within the first 100 days of our government, we will start the legislative process to institute, and I want you to listen to me carefully, impeachment proceedings in Parliament. This will add another layer of protection of the Parliament to ensure that only members of unquestioned integrity sit in the Parliament.
That is the difference between them and us.
Few will continue to plunder poor people's money
because we will have to continue to live with the rampant corruption that has characterized this government, of which the Prime Minister has been a part from beginning till now.
This will help us know where we can start to make changes and how we approach teaching and advocacy around this problem. And this is a 1-hour focus group of about 6 women, which is compensated, and a brief questionnaire to obtain demographic information. Please give us a call at 305-243-5434 to understand if you are eligible to participate in those focus groups. If no one answers, please leave your full name and phone number and we will get back to you. You can also email us at wbelizaire@miami.edu. That is WBELIZAIRE@miami.edu.
For more info, hit us up at WCBPradio.com.
When the game gets rough in this life.
Welcome back to the program Make We Talk here on WZBP and WZOP. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. Welcome back to the program, caller. I have some more clippings to play, so we don't have enough time. Go ahead.
That I'm noting that this subject matter of getting rid of the Privy Council, reform the Constitution, has been going on since 1976. That's when Michael Manley had proposed to change. And there were people who mutinied in the party. And I mentioned that when PJ Patterson got the reign, he did nothing.
Well, when this one is doing something.
Hold on, man. When Portia Simpson came in, she did nothing. She mentioned that she wanted change, but she did nothing. And then she allegedly tell the Rastas that over the university at a conference that they must call she queen. Anyway, that's beside the point. The point now with this argument that Mark is saying that, oh, you can't do one, we're not going to support this. And this is not how you handle the people's business when you look at political idiot platform, right? With a few hundred people show up, die out, and we give curry goat and that kind of thing to come.
It's not curry goat anymore, man. Stop talking about curry goat.
The rank and file people, the diaspora. We have been saying that, number one, we want a constitutional reform that involves an elected head of state. We don't want where you just appoint your political hack and your political brethren to go sit down up in the rename King's House or whatever they might call it. And that name should be changed. I don't know why they still have these colonial names in thing. We don't have no British king sitting in half a tree.
Hello, sir. Hold on there for me now. You hold on there for me now. How can they change everything when the country is still under British rule?
No, but that's my point. Break out. Listen.
And that is with all fairness. Hold on there. But with all fairness, this is what this man is trying to do. But hold on.
Listen. In first of all, there he has a meeting from time to time. So with the Andrew Holness administration.
Who?
Andrew Holness himself. The leader of the opposition of the PNP.
But hold on there. Hold on. You hold on a minute now. Hold on, I'm going to say something to you. What I'm trying to say to you is that you said that who never tried to do constitutional reform. Goldie never do it. Michael never do it. PJ never do it. But with all fairness.
No, Michael attempted to do it.
Right.
Michael was the only one. But the same people in party never have to really keep. Remember, I tell you, Glasspool, which was a big PNP man. He was the Governor General.
You mean Sir Flowers or Glasspool?
Yeah, me not call him sir. I don't recognize.
Hold on for me. I have another call coming in. Hold on.
Yeah.
Welcome to Make We Talk. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to Make We Talk. Go ahead, caller, because the caller hung up. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. So Michael Manley worked on it, and what I'm saying, they have been given lip service. PJ gave lip service. He did nothing. Portia Simpson Miller, when people thought that she would have done so, she did nothing. You understand? No, I am saying the approach that Mark Golden is taking is all empty talk shop.
No, but hold on then. Hold on.
Wait.
No, man. Hold on, man. With all fairness. With all fairness.
What kind of fairness? The man
hold on, man.
In party when in a long time, no, they nothing.
May I allow to explain something to you, sir?
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
What I'm trying to say to you, with all fairness, many of us do not like Andrew Holness policies and whatever. But he come up with the whole constitution reform. And the opposition leader is saying that if they cannot put on the plate of the constitutional reform that Jamaica's final court of appeal of whatever should be the Caribbean Court of Justice. It should not be that Jamaica become independent and become a republic rather. And our final court is in London. Because right now, Trinidad and Tobago is the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, but their final court is in London.
Yeah, them sign off on the court. Let me tell you, what I'm saying to you. I want you to think a little harder. We have been through this process. How much years now? Close to 40 years. I've been following this issue closely. One of the things you have to understand, Jeffrey, is that politicians utter things out of their mouth to get mileage, but they really do have no intention to carry through unless the people want it. Because you have to, first of all, this issue should not be used as a bat and ball. And thirdly, you are wrong in your characterization of how this process began. There was a groundswell of outrage, if you want to call it bad mind, jealousy, whatever. When the Jamaicans, particularly those in the diaspora, saw where Barbados was taking such a significant move to get rid of this. And remember, Barbados used to be called Little England. I don't know if you remember that. Very pro-British over there. Very pro-British. More so than even Jamaica. And so people were very surprised when they saw that. And the Jamaicans, hold on, they started feeling
you
like
hold
they
on
were
for me.
left
Hold on.
out,
You hold on for me. Hold on for me.
ahead.
Hold on. Because I don't have enough time on the program. And I have some more clippings to play. So I'm just asking you to make your point. 1 minute, then I have to end up going to something else.
Okay.
Because my producers are saying...
The point is, the point is that if we are going to be serious, if Mark Golden is serious of this, of his point that it can be, they can sit down and negotiate so that we get to move from where we have a real meaningful reform of the Jamaican Constitution. I don't like Mark Golden's playing game and gone out from political platform. And I'm saying those two guys.
So hold on there now. If he was gonna make the case pertaining to the Caribbean Court of Justice, what should he do? Just be quiet about it?
It's not a matter of just be quiet. Certain matters don't have to go into political football. They're like here in America, when they have the national security and then say, watch out, we are going to do X, Y, Z. You see, both Republican and Democrat them come together and vote it in and get the job done. Even with all the rhetoric where you hear a fire and this, you notice how them quietly, you saw them solidly back Ukraine and send all the money over
I
the
have
Republic. Exactly.
Right. Thank you very much for calling in, my friend, because I have to switch to something else.
Thank you very much for your indulgence.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Same to you. We must continue the little thing that we have here. We don't have enough time leave. And my producers are here trying to tell me, look, we need to go to the point that we have here. I must thank my caller, because I love his reasoning. I really love his reasoning. And I must thank him for coming on. He's always calling in. Thank you so much. There is something else that I need to bring to the attention of the listeners on this program here. Senator Donna Scott Motley said at the PNP conference that the 6 parliamentarians who is under investigation by the Integrity Commission that Jamaicans must not take this lightly. And what she's saying is the fact truth. We must not take this lightly. And I'm going to play this little clip in here to let you hear it.
Opposition Senator Donna Scott Motley is asserting that the investigation of 6 parliamentarians by the Integrity Commission for illicit enrichment must not be taken lightly. She was also speaking at the PNP's 85th annual conference on Sunday at the National Arena.
There are 6 parliamentarians who are under investigation by the Integrity Commission. We cannot take that lightly. There are 6 people who are making decisions about your lives and who are in Parliament passing laws that would make you serve 40 years and 50 years if you commit a murder, no matter what the circumstances. I raise this in the context of the corrupt actions of the government because they are passing laws for us, but not for themselves.
You know, the time has come. If this had happened in the great United States of America, the public of the citizens of the United States would have known who are the 6 parliamentarians who is on investigation for illicit enrichment. So why is it that in 21st century Jamaica, and let me make this clear, I am not bashing my country. This is in the public domain and we need to speak about it. The 6 parliamentarians that is under investigation, the voters of Jamaica should know who they are. And I've been saying this from day one on this program. But in no other modern democracy can this nonsense continue to happen. In no other modern democracy can this happen. Mrs. Donna Scott Motley went on to say in her speech at the PNP conference that supporters of the People's National Party must stand against corruption in government. Let us see if the PNP should gain state power. What would they do about corruption in government entities? Because majority of us feel that it's only parliamentarians are corrupt. There's a lot of government agencies that is corrupt, you know. Let us listen to what Mrs. Scott Motley went on to say.
Motley criticized the government of lacking integrity and undermining the importance of the education system in Jamaica. She asserted that answers must be given by Prime Minister Andrew Holness on the identities of the 6 parliamentarians.
Andrew Holness said Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller was presiding over a corrupt government because there was a man sitting in Parliament who built some shops without parish council permission to help his people. Where is the justice now that he hides those 6 people? Where is the justice now that he tells us as Prime Minister he does not know who they are?
Donna Scott Motley.
My God. Are we to believe that our Prime Minister do not know who the 6 parliamentarians are? Are we to believe that the Prime Minister of our country do not know who those 6 parliamentarians are? Before we go, the Prime Minister of Jamaica said that enough has not been spent on crime. I want to play the clipping of what he said because I want to play the clip on what the Prime Minister said. Because I'm trying to figure out if our Prime Minister do not remember when the goodly Senator, government Senator Don Webby, Senator Don Webby said that, let me read you what Senator Don Webby said, because I don't want anybody to say that I'm chatting nonsense. Government Senator Don Webby say it is unacceptable that only 17% of the capital budget for national security has been spent. A sum of $92 billion was allocated to the Ministry of National Security for the year 2022 to 2023 financial year. This means that only $15.64 billion has been spent so far. Early that same week, the government has announced that it would be increasing the budget allocation for the National Security Ministry by 6 billion Jamaican dollars. In that same time, in Parliament on the Tuesday of that same time when they speak about it, the Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Dr. Nigel Clark, tabled the first supplementary estimate of expenditure, which include approximately 6 billion Jamaican dollars to help fight crime. And our goodly Prime Minister had this to say over the weekend. The Prime Minister had this to say over the weekend. Now let's listen to what the Prime Minister have to say.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness says a lack of investment in the country's security forces contributed to the increased level of murders across the island.
We are not happy that murders are at the level they are. But the rise uncontrollably in murders to over 1,000 murders and rising, sometimes you manage to attenuate it every year. And when we have had success in bringing it down for over a year or two, it's when we have used emergency power and the knock-on effect of emergency power. Now, one of the reasons why murders got out of control was, yes, we live in a neighborhood that could be considered dangerous in the sense that we are right in the middle of trade routes and we act as a transshipment point. But the bigger problem is that we really did not invest significantly in our security forces.
The Prime Minister was speaking at a Central Executive meeting in St. Anne on Sunday. Data from the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the JCF, revealed that 963 murders were recorded between January 1 and September 11 this year. That's 125 fewer than the corresponding period last year. However, the police say that homicides have increased in 5 of the 19 police divisions since the start of the year. Prime Minister Holness says work by the government to eradicate crime and violence in Jamaica will take time.
We didn't invest significantly in our national security. Oftentimes we depended on partnerships and the charity almost of our partners to help us out. I recognize from the day I became Prime Minister that we have to have a very sophisticated national security apparatus in Jamaica. So
now tell me something now. Prime Minister Holness, I don't understand something here. You said that you did not invest enough in crime. I went and I asked a security expert who you all know, but I won't call any name. I asked him the question, how much does the American government give to Jamaica pertaining to help with security? It's over 50 million US dollars. And I am stand to be corrected on this. It's over 50 million US dollars that Jamaica get from donor countries. And one of the 50 million is from America. Well, America give 50 million US to help fight crime. Then, what I don't understand is this. The government senator went on to say, Government Senator Dan Webby, you know. Senator Dan Webby said it is unacceptable that only 17% of the capital budget for national security was spent. So I don't understand when the PM gonna come out and say that they don't invest enough in security. I need some clarification on this because I don't understand. Only 17% of the capital budget was spent. Only 17%. And they said that they didn't invest enough in security. Well, let us see if they're going to invest some more in security. A sum of $92 billion was allocated to the Ministry of National Security for the year 2022 to 2023 financial year. This means that only $15.64 billion was spent so far. So, Prime Minister, go back to the drawing board, Prime Minister. Go back and ask the Honorable Dr. Harris Chang what's going on in the ministry. Because it makes no sense for you to come out and say that you never spend enough money. When most of the money go back to the National Security Ministry or to the Ministry of Finance. So I don't understand, Prime Minister. Anyway, we don't have enough time here leaving the program. The Prime Minister of Barbados is calling for the U.S. to lift the embargo against Cuba. The UN is supposed to be meeting again about the security crisis in Haiti. And I hope they can come with some concrete solution to the crisis that we face in Haiti. Because if they don't come with any solution, the pair talk and talk has been going on while the people of Haiti continue to suffer under the hands of criminality, under the hands of gangs. So the time has come where CARICOM and the international community must speak about what is going on in Haiti and must do something about it. They have to do something about the humanitarian and political crisis that the people of our Caribbean nation, our sister island face. And I think they must do something about it now. You can't just go to the United Nations, sit down and chat and chat and chat. According to the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Lady Scotland, who said that she don't chat. So I think it's time for them to do something. Do something and do something fast. I'm going to have a program later on this evening. I will send out the topic. But this is where I say so long from here until you hear my voice again. I am Jeffrey T. saying thank you all for joining us this evening. And remember, this afternoon, remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel.
When the game gets rough,
You're listening to WZOP 92.7.